What's going on, good people? Rich here.
Ray P in the building. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Culture Garden.
What's good with you, Ray P? How you feeling, man?
I feel good. Shout out to you in this Carolina Blue. But
Yeah,
yeah, I was a little under the weather, so we're recording a little bit late today. So thank you for accommodating me. I feel good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Yes, I told y'all last week it's been March Madness. Schedules have been all over the place. I was in Phoenix a week or two ago. Rachel's always traveling, so that ain't no thing. She said she was under the weather. School's got big things. Shout out to my dog, School.
After school, what's
Kid,
happening?
kid, bro, man. He's got some good life changes, man. New job,
Hey.
better opportunities and all that. And he had to travel for work, so he couldn't be here with us. And the day we actually were doing it, he's got School's Guilty Pleasures he's recording, and that's an episode I'm looking forward to. Got a
Yeah.
couple guests. It's a Nick Cannon movie. We're just gonna put it like that. It's a Nick Cannon movie. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to them talking about that. Obviously, looks you about to say your brain was working like
And it was. It's only two that I could think of.
Yeah, well, it's one of them too, I'm sure. Shout out to School. Speaking of podcasts, we got y'all. Listen, y'all looking for an episode, y'all gotta talk to Rachel. Don't talk to me. Talk to Rachel.
Y'all do. This is hard work.
It is. But I will say this: it is that tight springtime. There's a lot of life stuff going on. Like I'm in the middle of moving cities. Like there's just a lot of stuff going on in our actual lives. So we're gonna get everything back on track. We will get some. We got y'all stuff going because
Sure.
Rachel's got me watching this show, which we just had a conversation about before recording. It's a reality show. It's out of my wheelhouse, but I'm loving it. I'm fascinated. Maybe if we just have a conversation about that and what we're watching type of stuff. But there's some TV news that I actually want to talk to you about. Yeah. So maybe we can have an episode with that. There's some news that's been going on. I want to get your opinion on it. Let the people hear you. We'll work it out. We'll get something up for y'all soon.
That's it. I was gonna make a post the other day, just kind of about what I'm watching, but I was like, oh, this is basic. I really want to put it together. So can either be that the way I have in my mind, or we can have an open discussion about it because I'm actually watching a lot of things, but I don't necessarily want to cover them, if that makes sense. Like,
no, it makes perfect sense. We've been down this path before. Some stuff isn't. Yes, not everything's coverable, but it is good to have a few shows maybe in shorter conversations.
For sure.
Maybe talk about 3 shows at a time. I don't know. We've got some ideas in the works. I know June, like summer's gonna be busy for us.
Yeah.
House of Dragons. There's some other shows that Rachel and I brainstorm. Yeah, we'll definitely be covering that. There's some other shows, that Rachel and I brainstormed that I know we're going to go over. But shout out to We Got Y'all, man, television podcast. Before we get started today, please remember to like, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend, comment, rate, all of that. Please, it helps get the word of mouth out. We have our Linktree in the episode description. You can find all of our content there. There will be spoilers and explicit content in today's film, Girls Trip. 2017 comedy. Surprise smash hit, I would say, as well. We'll get into some numbers here in a second. The synopsis for this film: when 4 lifelong friends travel to New Orleans for the annual Essence Festival, sisterhoods are rekindled, wild sides are rediscovered, and there's enough dancing, drinking, brawling, and romancing to make the Big Easy blush. As far as the stats go, this film was released July 21st, 2017. Directed by Malcolm D. Lee. I think we're running out of Malcolm D. Lee projects to talk about. Right? So far, we've done Best Man, Undercover Brother, Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins, Best Man Holiday. We also discussed Best Man Final Chapters and Harlem, which he directed a couple episodes on We Got Y'all. So Malcolm D. Lee has been covered quite nicely here on the Culture Garden podcast. The story of this film was written by Erica Rivenoja, who worked on South Park, which I thought was very interesting. They got a writer from South Park to write Girls Trip, or at least come up with the concept of the story. And then the screenplay was written by Kenya Barris and Tracy Oliver. They obviously had involvement with the story as well.
Yeah.
This is a Will Packer production as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite Will Packer movie?
I don't. Will Packer is also involved in that show that we are discussing.
Yes, he's definitely involved in the show that we're discussing.
No, I don't. I would have to think about it. Maybe I'll put a list together of my favorite Will Packer productions.
I was looking at it briefly yesterday, and I think mine is about last night. I think
Okay.
that's it. I think
Okay.
that's it. But he's got a lot, so that's just saying it off the top of my head.
Think like a man.
Chua.
I watched Twa the other day.
That's his first. That's his first project. Shout out to Chua, man. Shout out to Chua. The film had a budget of $19 million, made $140.5 million worldwide, 31.2 million opening weekend, the largest opening of Malcolm D. Lee's career. Opened at number 2 behind Dunkirk. Speaking of Malcolm D. Lee, my bad. Shout out to his cousin,
Spike.
Shelton Jackson Lee, better known as Spike. It's his birthday today. Not the day you're listening to this, but the day we're recording. So shout out to him. But yeah, this opened at number 2 behind Dunkirk. Dunkirk was like an Oscar award type of movie that year, so makes sense. Am I tripping? But it doesn't seem like there used to be a time where movies spent multiple weeks at number 1.
You mean it doesn't? I feel like back in the day that used to be the thing.
That's what I'm saying. It used to. Like
Yeah.
back in the day, I felt like movies used to. There would be movies that stayed 4 weeks at number 1, 5 weeks or so. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. But nowadays, it's just 1 week and that's it. It's hard for a movie to stay there. The last time a movie was double-digit weeks was 1997.
Really?
Titanic.
Not even the whole Barbie Oppenheimer situation?
Nope. I mean, they held consecutive weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they held consecutive weeks. But there's only been, I don't know, 7 all time that have made 10 weeks or more.
Okay.
So I guess it makes sense. E.T. holds the record. I think it was 16 weeks, number 1, which is a long 4 months in a row just for it to be the highest grossing film. But it also makes sense with streaming that we wouldn't have that anymore. But anyway, I was looking at the numbers and I just thought of that. Don't mind me in the conversation. The film is currently streaming on Peacock as well as TBS and TNT if you have those apps with the cable provider. As far as awards go, this was Tiffany Haddish season as far as the awards. 13 wins, 42 nominations. Pretty much she won every award that was involved with this film. Outside of Best Film, I think one of them got. So she won the BET Award for Best Actress, NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Supporting Actress. It also won the Outstanding Motion Picture at the Image Awards. She won the MTV Movie and TV Award for Best Comedic Performance. Black Reel Awards, there were 7 nominations and 2 wins for Guess Who, Tiffany Haddish, Outstanding Supporting Actress, and Outstanding Breakthrough Performance. There's more stuff, but those are the highlights. As far as the cast goes, we have Regina Hall as Ryan Pierce. We love Regina Hall here. We've talked about that ad nauseum.
Love her.
Jada Pinkett Smith as Lisa Miller Cooper. Queen Latifah, another one. Happy belated birthday to Dana. As Sasha Franklin. Absolutely, the queen. Tiffany Haddish as Dina. Rachel.
Yes.
So Tiffany Haddish is 10 years younger than the rest of the cast, give or take some years. There's another actor/actress who was offered the part of Dina that was closer to the age range of the other actors. Who do you think that person is?
I thought maybe Regina King, but she's not. I could never see her being Dina. I have Tisha Campbell.
No. That's not bad. I like that.
Right?
I think for what you're thinking, you wouldn't guess it.
Oh shit. That's closer to their age.
Has been in Will Packer projects. Don't do that.
Nia Long.
No, man.
Oh.
Taraji. Hey, you be hard. You be hard on my girl Nia, man. Oh shit, man. Taraji P. Henson was offered the role of Gina.
I could see Taraji as Dina Loki.
I could see her as Dina, but it's gonna be a different version of Dina.
It will be a very different version, but I also think if memory serves me correctly, and you may have it, I think that Tiffany ad-libbed quite a bit of her
Yeah,
line.
there's a lot
So
of stuff that she just came up with on the spot.
I would be very curious of what that looks like for Taraji because she can do the comedic. I actually might have liked her in that opposed to seeing her sort of typecast.
Who, Taraji?
Mhm.
I think I would have too. It just wouldn't have been as over the top.
Yeah.
Which I guess I can say it now. I'm not an extra nigga at all. Like I just don't like extra. Like it's just
You?
not a yes. Shut up. I don't like extra. So like just being over the top and all that for no reason, it's not my thing. But I did enjoy Tiffany Haddish in this film. And that's not a Tiffany Haddish, and that's just I'm not a slap happy, like pissing over people on Bourbon Street type of make me laugh type of person. That's not
Yeah.
my brand of comedy. I'm more dark humor, dry humor. But there were moments where I literally laughed out loud while watching
For
Girls
sure.
Trip.
For
Because
sure.
because of some of those ad-lib lines and ad-libs performances from Tiffany Haddish, because it's so wild that it's like, damn, that shit crazy. But yeah, I think Taraji would have been a more toned down version.
For sure.
And I'm happy with how it went, especially because Tiffany Haddish became a star off
Yeah.
this film. We have Lorenz Tate as Julian Stevens, Mike Coulter as Stuart Price, Kate Walsh as Elizabeth Diwali, the agent, Kofi Cerebo as Malik. If I'm not mistaken, that nigga was playing a bruh. You know, the bruhs are they're real picky about using the Nelia in the movies, but when she was looking down on Bourbon Street, them niggas definitely had on black and gold, and then he mentioned they was going to his frat was having a party at Xavier.
Did he? Okay. I didn't. Maybe he's so fine. I really didn't see what them other niggas had on.
They
I
all had black and
warned though he threw up like the other symbol for a hook, but maybe. Damn, now I gotta go back.
Yeah, they had on black and technically yellow and gold. When the old
It was
when the old gold, but you know what I'm saying? It's whatever. Deborah Ayorinde, I hope I'm saying her name right. She plays Simone, the Instagram model. And then we have, of course, appearances by celebrities at the Essence Fest because they filmed it during the 2016 Essence Fest. And also shout out to FAMU. Shout out to my big sis. She obviously went to FAMU. Will Packer went to FAMU. So anytime he can get them a shout out, he will. Also would make sense, because this is one thing, if you really want to look at small stuff in the movie, they said that Ryan and Stewart were college sweethearts. Or is his name Stewart? Yeah, Stewart. Ryan and Stewart were college sweethearts. And you thinking they went to FAMU, like you a Hall of Fame tight end. What's the odds that you went to? Which it has happened.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ken Riley, Cincinnati Bengal, RIP to him. But he was just inducted into the Hall of Fame and he went to FAMU. But if you know anything about Tallahassee, Florida State and FAMU's campuses are pretty much right next door.
Right across the street, right?
So I'm thinking in my head, this has nothing to do with anything. This is just me going on a random imagination rant, which I tend to do. Ryan or Stewart probably went to FAMU, or excuse me, Florida State, while they went to FAMU.
Right.
Ryan went to FAMU with the girls.
Yeah.
She probably met Stewart because I'm sure they always at FAMU campus. Since they right next door to each other and all that shit.
This is for the niggas, strictly for the niggas.
I say all that to say, shout out to FAMU.
Yeah.
Rachel.
Yes.
This was your week to pick a film. What made you go with this movie?
Everybody who listens, thank y'all for the birthday wishes. If I didn't get around to your message on Instagram, sorry. Y'all know I don't be checking these messages, which is hard to run. It'll be on 3 Instagram accounts, but whatever. Thank you so much. So all that to say, I went on a mini girls trip for my birthday. So it was fresh in my mind. I recanted the story of the trip to Kyron. And I was like, you know what? Let's do girls trip.
So yeah, absolutely. I'm not the target audience for girls trip.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I believe there was a stat: 60% of women 25 and older went to go see this film opening weekend. So
Mm-hmm.
60%, like that. There were some things that weren't for me. However, it did have the ingredients for what I like in a film,
For sure.
especially when it comes to like friendships and rekindling friendships and real life situations and how you
Mm-hmm.
handle them.
Mm-hmm.
Standing on all 10 toes. Like, what type of nigga are you? What type of person are you
Yeah,
when it comes to it, especially to
for
your
sure.
peoples? So I enjoyed the film. Um, let me ask you this: classic or not?
Fuck.
Because it will be 7 years old this summer. So I believe we're at the stage where we can say if it's a classic or not.
I'm gonna give it a yes. It's a classic. Here's the thing. I very much like you. I'm not a crude and crass nigga, like at all. So
Right.
everything is not for me. But having not watched Girls Trip probably in at least a year and some change, it held up. Like the
Mm-hmm.
funny was still funny.
Mm-hmm.
Um, very obviously extremely culturally relevant, especially as a Black woman in my late 30s.
You just hold on. Let's say hold on. A black woman who just entered her late 30s. Literally just opened the door. Like I don't want to put you out there like you there. Like you
I'm in there. I'm inside.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you took a couple steps in.
I'm in the foyer
Yeah, yeah. You still outside enjoying your drink though.
for
You know what I
sure.
mean?
For
Like before you
sure.
go in the
You on a
house.
patio. You on a patio.
Yeah,
It's
there you
covered.
go.
Um, so it felt relevant pretty much to my life, to experiences that I recently had. And it's a ridiculous, silly ass movie. I didn't want to
Hmm.
come back and do something crazy. It's Women's History Month. Hello, it's March. A
Yes,
woman,
indeed.
Black, always gonna shout out us. So here we are.
I ain't mad at the choice. I'm not mad at the choice. I have to call it a classic.
Yeah.
Whether I believe it's a classic or not,
Mm-hmm.
there's no denying the impact it had when it came out.
For
This
sure.
was what was talked about, and it came. I keep saying from out of nowhere, which is weird because of the cast and
Mhm.
Malcolm D. Lee and Will Packer and just the powerhouse behind it. They churn out hits. That's what they do.
Yeah.
But I don't think anybody expected this to like have so much crossover appeal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Mm-hmm.
the addition of Tiffany Haddish, just the way she kind of came onto the scene and naturally, it didn't seem forced.
Yeah.
Like her role, I didn't feel like she was trying to upstage anybody. She was just playing that role of the wild friend, and they played off each other real well. It kind of gave me, I think, one of the reasons it's enjoyable for me is because I felt like they kicked it.
Yeah.
And I remember when they were going on their promo runs, the infamous Groupon Swamp
Mm-hmm.
Tour story from Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah.
Um, I felt like that was real. Like they kicked it offset. Like they went to dinner and it felt like they were cool. And that helped out. I think the
For
casting
sure.
was went well in it. And like I said, budget of 19 million made 140, 140 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't deny what is going on with it. As far as the origin goes, February 2014, Universal Studios said that Malcolm D. Lee and Will Packer will be teaming up for Girls Trip. They actually approached Essence without a script and
Mm.
had the idea of having them in the film and pitching the idea.
His wife.
Should there have been a woman director? I wanted to ask you
Um, who's gonna call Gina? Um,
this would have been a completely different movie. There would have been a lot more Lorenz Tate.
yeah, I don't think so. I think it's for what it is, I think it's fine. I don't know what a woman director looks like. I mean, we call Ava, I said Gina, we could call Ava. She's not a comedic
Right.
person and it's a comedy. You know what I'm saying? So I think maybe I'm not well versed enough in women directors who do comedy. It's usually maybe some dramedy, maybe period drama. I don't know. I don't know what that looks like.
Yeah, I'm not. And if there is a woman director who does comedy, please send a message. Let me know. I
Yeah.
can't think of anyone off the top of my head. Um, I just always think about when it's predominantly women cast and telling a
Mhm.
woman's story. If a woman director can have a different viewpoint or eye on how certain things should
For
go. But
sure.
I also believe that these are veterans and professionals.
That
We've told stories on this podcast before about certain actors just saying, no, that's not realistic. Like this
yeah,
person would not do this.
yeah.
Um, and not to mention Tracy Oliver being in the room and writing this. I
Right.
think that helped out a lot. So there was a voice, and she's heavily involved with the process. So I
Hmm.
think that helped out a lot. I was just curious when you know, every time I see that, I always want to ask that question.
I think
Um,
that's what makes it have a good balance when we know that there are women in the room in the
yeah,
background.
absolutely,
And so it's
for
not
sure.
just a male gaze ass shit.
And you can tell it wasn't
Mhm.
because I don't think a man by himself could have written this script the way it turned out.
Absolutely not.
There's just too much women. There's too much woman things going on. You know what? All right, by the time 26,
Hear that, Tyler?
so Regina Hall, she was always a star. She was the one that they went out and wanted her to star in the film. And then Jada Pinkett Smith and Queen Latifah, they ended up being attached later on in that year. Obviously, the reunion of Stoney and Cleo.
Mm-hmm.
And Lorenz Tate came on later, and I guess Tiffany Haddish was the last edition. I'm sure she had to go through an audition process. Um, it premiered at the American Black Film Festival in Miami
Mm-hmm.
on June 14, 2017. And about a month prior to the theatrical release. Instant hint, like we talked about earlier, especially given the market. I've talked about this as well. You're in that comic book phase. You're in that let's remake everything from the 80s. Let's
Mm-hmm.
all that kind of good stuff. Let's do a sequel to something. This was an original screenplay that really did well. Time magazine listed it as one of the top 10 films of 2017. And it was the first time a film written by a Black woman screenwriter crossed $100 million.
Period.
So shout out to that. And this was the first comedy of 2017 to cross $100 million. So
Mm,
double shout out to Tracy Oliver.
for sure.
Rachel,
Yes.
first experiences. Do you remember the first time you watched this film?
I was one of those Black women in the theater. I watched
Mm-hmm.
it opening weekend. Yeah, I loved it. I was in the
Who'd
theater.
you did you
Um,
go with homegirls? Were you
no,
dolo?
I think I might have gone dolo. I'm very
Okay.
much a go to movies by myself person because I'm not a movie talker. So
Me too.
we're just coming to accompany each other. Don't talk to me.
Right. Right. Like I don't even like talking through previews.
Yeah, no. So I went by myself. I saw it in the theaters. I saw it twice in the theaters.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
I didn't see it in theaters. So how was the theater experiences? Because this is one of those films where I look at it now, I'm like, I wish I saw this in theaters.
It was very Black, and
Understood.
very loud. Not in a negative way. And it wasn't like, um, what's the
Kikiing, like hold on, you mean a bunch of women kikiing with their
yeah, like
homegirls,
niggas was just laughing.
as as
It
as
wasn't
uh as the agent would say?
shout out to K Wash. It was
Uh,
very communal, you know. Um audible gasps at the same time. I think we talked when we were discussing American Fiction, how it was a lot of white people in the theater. This wasn't that either time I saw. So you didn't side eye somebody with like an inside joke. It was even better because everybody in the room got the jokes. Like
mhm.
when they said we about to set it off or let's set it off, everybody laughed, everybody got it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was just more so like that. It felt like watching movies with all your people, like being at home, high key, for real, for real.
I got you. That's
Not
dope.
like,
And that's
oh, this is scary shit. It wasn't that, but it was niggas was
shout
niggas.
out to shout out to Regina Hall once
Shout
again.
out to Regina Hall. I
Hey,
can't think of the movie, because it's not
scary
no
movie,
scary movie.
scary
I want
movie.
to say Black Scream.
Yeah, which is ironic because she was making a parody of Jada Pinkett's character in Scream 2. So
Exactly.
all this 6 degrees of good separation.
Come on.
Even though Tiffany Haddish stole the show, I still will stand on the hill that Regina Hall is the best comedic actor. Regina Hall's comedic acting is top tier. Like I don't know if she gets enough credit for it. She's hilarious.
I want to see Regina Hall in every single thing.
Yeah.
There is nothing that she cannot do. And I think that she is naturally funny. So
Yeah,
her
she is.
comedic timing is just perfect. I love her. Like I want to be her. I
I
love her.
knew, yeah, no, absolutely. I knew she was naturally funny when that random video with her and Issa, not the one where they made the rap, but her
Mhm.
just talking about how she came up with Insecure and all that. Like the way she just kept going, like she just
Uh-huh.
you can't teach that. Um,
I love
and
her.
then she's just hilarious, man. Shout out
Yeah.
to Regina Hall. Um, so Tracy Oliver, let me ask you this.
Mhm.
Well, I guess I didn't talk about my first experience. I really don't remember it. I didn't watch it in the theaters.
Mhm.
Probably was
Mm.
hanging with a homegirl. You ain't
Mm.
never seen Girls Trip?
See,
You know how that goes.
you know how
And
that shit
watched
go.
it. You know how that shit go. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it the first time I watched it. Like I said, I knew it wasn't for me, but there were also
Mhm.
aspects that I could appreciate.
Yeah.
Like I said, college friends, the road trip, the
Mhm.
reunion part of it. Some real shit that was said throughout the movie that we'll talk
Yeah.
about in best scenes and best quotes.
Mhm.
And I just knew it was something that was enjoyable. I knew that it met the expectation based off everything I heard about it,
Yeah.
um, and everything that it was hyped up to be. So
Mhm.
Tracy Oliver had this to say to the Hollywood Reporter. I want to get your opinion on it. Just talking about like respectability politics and
Mhm.
the portrayal of Black women. She said, Black women being carefree and having fun just like everybody else. I think we
Mhm.
need to show all aspects of Black lives. I love Moonlight. I love Hidden Figures. But I also want to see some people who are having fun and just showing female friends hanging out. I guess there was conversation
Mhm.
about how Black women are portrayed when this film
Mhm.
came out in regards, I guess, to Dina's character.
Of course.
Um, yeah, of course. And I want to know your thoughts on that because I think people, excuse me, Black people,
Mhm.
sometimes look too much into respectability politics,
For sure. For sure.
um, and get secondhand embarrassment, especially if, like you just said, the theater experience was like being at the crib. I
Yeah.
wonder there are people who, if there were some white people in the audience, might have felt uncomfortable
Mhm.
because I don't want her acting like that or act weird when people act a certain way in front of others. What
Yeah.
do you think about Tracy Oliver's quote and just saying, look, we all things, we everything, and this is just the truth?
Yeah, I think she's absolutely right. And to your point, like everything is not for everybody. That's just across the board. Um, Black people are not a monolith. Um, we're all from different creed, economic backgrounds, different personalities. It's that and the third. It's people are just fucking different. I do understand why Black people are obsessed with respectability politics because for forever it was we were under the belief that you had to be buttoned up, you had to appear dignified. If you were found to be cooning, that's shameful. But am I cooning or am I kicking it? Like it's
Yeah,
different. So I get it. And again, Dina, she probably wouldn't be in my particular flossy posse. She might be a homegirl, but not in my particular crew. Like
yeah.
I just know her.
That's a lot every day. That's a lot every day.
Yeah, that's like way too much for me. But the shit was funny for the most part. Like, don't be pissing on people. Some
Yeah,
stuff a bit, yeah, again, crass, but some niggas is crass. I know
that's how it
people
is.
who identify with her specifically more than any other character in the movie. That is who they related to, would do all of that shit, including the golden shower. Like, it just is what it is.
And I think that's a character that a
Bitch
lot
ass
of people
homegirl.
wish. Listen, I think a lot of people might even say or say to themselves, maybe not out loud, that that's the character they wish they could be on some occasions.
Yeah.
Just kind of that carefree. Um,
Mhm.
what was I about to say about Tiffany Haddish or that whole thing?
Do you watch Yellow
You know
White?
what it reminded me of?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say it reminded me of when we did Mo Better Blues.
Mhm.
Do you remember we had our Mo Better Blues conversation
Mhm.
and Spike Lee was getting protested against because of how he wrote Jewish characters.
Yeah.
And he replied and was talking pretty much like, you can't tell me that everybody isn't everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, I'm not saying every person is like this,
Yeah,
but
for
these
sure.
people do exist.
For sure.
Dinas exist, like they exist.
For
So I
sure.
don't see any reason why they can't have their story told. No different than the Lisas of the world have their story told, or the Ryans of the world have their story told. Because that's real life. We all know Elisa, and not only do we know, Adina. We all know Adina, and not only do we all know Adina, we love Dina. Like we'll ride for Dina.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe to a certain extent, like
Be cool
Dina
for
might.
it.
Exactly. Like Dina might also have you in some shit where you're like, yo, I can't afford to even do that bullshit, but I fucks with you.
For sure. I was going to say when you said people wish that they could be free. I don't know if you watched Yellowstone, but in season 5, maybe in the first part of season 5, because I don't think the second part has come out yet. But there's a character, Beth, and Kevin Costner, her dad Beth is crazy as fuck. And she has pretty much no filter. She's very powerful. Will beat your ass, and she all out fights this girl who doesn't understand their way of life, and the other girl is being combative, and for real, for disrespectful. So people were Beth's husband, not people, were essentially like chiding her, to her dad, and he's like, you know what? I don't know. I wish I could be that free, because ain't no bullshit with Beth. Like, she is exactly who she is with everybody. What you see is what the fuck you get. That might be, we might have drinks, or I might take you out to the yard and fight you, So I just appreciate people who are just free to be themselves, even if it's not my particular cup of tea.
And that's really what life is about. Like, be yourself and then let others allow if you are their cup of tea or not.
For sure.
Like, don't hit us with the bullshit and then we get a surprise at the end of it. Girls trips versus guy trips. Girls trips just seem a lot more complicated. I don't think guy trips. So here's the thing with us. And I think traveling with anyone is a skill. You can't travel with anybody. I'm not saying this as like you can just get a group of friends, like guy friends, and plan a trip. That's not how it works. But if you have 4, friends that are going to travel, I feel like it's a lot less schedule oriented. It's just we catch whatever's going on at the moment. It's just real chill. Nobody really has a list of anything. Yeah. There might be one of those things like, yo, when we get here, I know I want to try this restaurant. And that might be the only thing on my list. Like anything else, fuck it, we can do it. Or this is going on this weekend. Yeah. Like there might be a central event that like is going on. Like, so for example, soon I'm going to the NFL draft. It's in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Going to the NFL draft, that's the event. Whatever happened after that happened. Like there are no plans. We just going, we're gonna kick it. We're gonna find a way.
Period.
Is it the same with girls trips? I feel like there's a lot more. All right, at 8:00 we're doing this. At 1:00 we're doing this. At 4:00 we have.
It honestly depends on who is in your group. So for the most part, I don't want to do shit but go find some water, some drinks, some music, maybe some flowers. That's all I want to do, Yeah. There are people who are very schedule oriented, and to them, I say, not on my watch. I'm just not doing it unless there's something specific that I want to do or we have to do. Like, so for my birthday, we left Fort Lauderdale and took the ferry to Bimini, Bahamas. Okay, you got to be at that ferry by 8:00. That's the only reason for us to be up that early and out and about, like trying to do stuff, because there is a train we have to catch, a ferry, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, some people are very scheduled. But if you're a vacation scheduler, I don't really want to go on vacation with you.
No, I feel you on that. You go listen to some music, grab some drinks, find the water? Is that the same as 15 years ago?
Yep.
Got you. So it was never like on some kick it. Like, I feel you. I'm the same way.
I did go to the club in the Bahamas. Shout out to them. Oh, rat tat tat tat. Um, I'm back in my day. I probably would have found somewhere to throw some ass because I used to be a rump shaker. Now in my late 30s, it's few and far between. But yeah, otherwise,
Rump shaker is hilarious.
show my age.
Rump shaker is hilarious. Um,
Anywho,
yeah, anyway, man. But yeah, shout out to all girls trips, all guy trips. Like I said, I
yeah,
don't know how cool it is or serious it
I
is with
probably took
y'all,
my
but
last one for a long time, but
I,
uh,
it be like that. It's hard to travel with people. It is
it
hard to travel
is.
with people.
It is. Shout out to your crew. Get you a travel crew and stick with it.
Straight up. Before we get into scenes and categories and stuff like that, 2023,
Mm-hmm.
Tracy Oliver. Actually, January of this year. No, January 2023, Tracy Oliver announced that Girls Trips 2 is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly happen at the Afro Future Festival. So Afrofest, Ghana.
Okay.
January of this year, so a couple months ago, Will Packer did confirm with the Hollywood Reporter that the sequel is happening and it is in active development.
Okay.
Are you here for it?
Yeah, I'm gonna see it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna definitely see it. I wonder if all the casting is the same, but I will see. I definitely want to see it.
I think all the casting will be the same.
Okay.
I think all the casting will be the same.
I think it will be hard to replace. I don't want to call it a prequel, but the original breakout star. But
I don't think they're gonna. I think she'll be all right.
yeah.
Yeah. People are getting away from cancel culture, in my opinion. I think they just saying whatever, man. She just crazy. We're just gonna put her in this movie.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what
We'll see.
happens.
She probably is. I'm just, she's not had this come. Girls Trip 1 was 2017.
Yeah,
If
man, that's
Girls
what
Trip
concerns
2
me.
out 2020, I think that we have a different conversation. A lot has happened between then and now,
A
So,
lot.
public. I only say that because the public perception of her has changed significantly. So she was a little bit
That's
everywhere
fair.
for a little while, and now not so much.
That's fair. That's
Um,
fair.
especially when people like Marlon Wayans and other, I guess, beloved Black actors, comedians have said that she really ain't their cup of tea, or why she ain't really good for the brand. Not even on no being extra shit, but just, well, no, he did say because you extra, but just a different. All that to say, I would be very curious to see how the sequel pans out, and I will be
I
in
don't
the.
think. I might even say I don't think you can make it without her. Dare
Ooh,
I say?
you might be right.
Dare I say? I don't think you can make it without her. But I will say this before we, like I said, before we move on. This has every recipe, or excuse me, every ingredient to be a bad movie. It just does.
Yeah.
Just by the standards and how this works. You look at 48 Hours, you look at another 48 Hours. You look at Beverly Hills Cop, you look at Beverly Hills 3. You just look at these movies that take these long gaps. The
Yeah.
only successful one I can really think of off the top of my head is Bad Boys 2. But these movies that take these long gaps, like this will be maybe 8 years, possibly 9 years from the original to the sequel.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, Best Man Holiday did it. It was sad, but it was still good.
yeah, that's a good one. That's a real good one.
Chapters, same
But
thing.
that's
It was still good.
life is about balance, because Will Packer got that, but he also has Will Packer wasn't part of Best Man's, was he? Malcolm D. Lee was, but I don't think Will Packer was. Think Like a Man 2. We talked about it before. I'm not a fan. It's not really a good movie. It's an awful sequel, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
And I just don't see. I see the money grab when the first one did very well. Let's go back to the bank. I get it. Maybe being in Ghana will add a boost to it, but I don't know what kind of story you tell. I wonder what's going on in these women's lives. It has to be worth it.
It has to be worth it. We're not back at Essence, but then where are we for our reunion?
They're in Ghana. They're at Afrofest.
Oh, that is the theme of the movie.
I would imagine.
Okay, I misunderstood. I thought you were saying that that's where they were going to like premiere it.
No. The thing was they were gonna film in Ghana.
Oh, okay.
All right, man. Let's get the best scenes. Rachel.
What the- I'm gonna start with the intro because I took a break from the intro scene being one of my tops. But again, I say this every episode. We need to meet these characters. And I feel like everybody was introduced. I don't say well, but everybody was introduced really well according to their character, you know. So it was good to see a little background. We immediately knew that Dina was nuts. We immediately knew that Lisa is a mother and she was gonna have on some bullshit. Being not for
Yeah.
the girls, that her focus had changed. We knew that Sasha was struggling. And we knew that Ryan was the star, you know, and how she got there. We find that out, albeit later in the movie, but we meet everybody and it works. And we see how they become friends. And shout out to all the college crews that's still crewing it up.
Hey, listen, shout out to all the college crews. Y'all know that means a lot to us personally. I
For
met
sure.
Rachel in college.
For sure.
When you nurture those college friendships, they will last a lifetime.
Yeah.
Those can be some of your strongest relationships, your day twos, as people call them. But yeah, that's what the opening sequence for me. That's what draws me into the film. Like I said, as somebody who it wasn't made for, I'm not the target audience. The idea of the diminishment of a friendship and the possible revival of it in this next 2 hours is something that I want to see happen. I want to see it shake out because no matter who you are, you can relate to that real life shit. You can relate to your people being around for all the things. You take all the trips. And it's funny, like I was talking about this with just moving. Just, you know, at this age, I'm gonna see people probably the same amount of time I would anyway. Because it's not like you're your early 20s and 20, like people have their own families and lives now. So you don't link up every week or every weekend like you used to when you were 25.
Right.
Me and the fellas, every weekend we sending the text out. What's the move tonight? What's the move? What's the move? Them shit stopped a long time ago.
For sure.
And we're not on that. We don't live that life. We'll get together for some games or we'll get together for this and that. But got some homeboys raising kids, man. They raising children. I'm trying to make sure they don't rob y'all. Like, you know what I mean? They need to be present fathers and present parents.
Yeah.
So to have that around you all the time, and then we get a hint at it, but we don't know, you know, maybe some friction. I think Ryan had a quote where she talked about, you know, 1 year goes, you know, sometimes words go unsaid, disagreements go unresolved. You still talk on the phone, keep up on social media, but a year goes by where you don't see each other, and that year turns to 5. And before you know it, you're busy trying to get what you want. Get what you want. That one day you look up and find out that the thing you love the most, your crew, the people who make you feel at home, no matter where you are, they're gone. And that's real. You look up one day and you try to figure out, like, oh, what the fuck happened to my life? Where are my people at? Like, what's happening here? So that whole aspect of it is really what got me in. Those disagreements, man, those words going unsaid. That's some real shit, man. You can't sweep too much under the rug before it pops its head up and becomes a real thing. And also, might I say, this goes into the whole them going to Essence Fest and like Ryan getting the news that they wanted to be the keynote speaker, and her instantly light bulb going off. Like, this is a perfect time to get the Flossie posse back together.
Yeah.
Like, it's a perfect time to do that. So her even looking out for her girls, like, you know what? I'm gonna share this with my people. Like J. Cole said, "What good is first class if my niggas can't sit?"
Yeah.
I don't want to be the nigga in first class while my niggas got to ride coach. Now, if I'm gonna have something big, we all gonna do it. If I'm in VIP, we all VIP. And I love that type of friendship. I love this type of crew because it ain't no rankings. It ain't no better than. Like, let's all just kick it and take it from there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess my scene will be Ryan telling Liz, her agent, that she needs to chill with the black woman vernacular. Liz was funny to me, and it's funny because that wouldn't be funny in real life at all.
Right.
Like, I would not even crack a smile or chuckle in real life, other than like, oh, she wild. But it's one of those audacity laughs.
Yeah.
But in this film, like, she played the part so well that you can't help but to chuckle and to smile. And that is a real. I'm sure when you were in the theater, that's one of those moments where it was like, or probably agreed. Especially at the part when she said, like, this is Essence
You're
Fest.
there.
This is a celebration of Black women, like all
Mhm.
over. Like, you are a guest.
Yeah.
They act accordingly. Like,
Mhm.
none of that kikiing. Like, you gonna be kikiing with your girls all weekend. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. And again, shout out to Kate Wash, my private practice Grey's Anatomy queen. I It felt like, as ridiculous as it was, it still, even with her extraness, felt like an appreciation versus appropriation type. Like, you're being ridiculous, but I know that you want to seem relatable. Like, you don't mean it the way that it's coming off. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh yeah. I got you. I got you. I
To
got
make
you.
it funny, because everybody knows I cannot stand a ghetto, quote unquote, white, or anything else on no black scent. I hate it. Like, just be you, just be cool, even if you are.
Miss, put that shit on. They
Yeah,
call me.
I cannot stand a rain ass bitch. Do you hear me? Oh my god! Even if you are from the tray, bitch. Sorry, I haven't recorded in a while, guy.
Oh man, nah, I'm weak at that. That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
I'll
My
go.
next. What's your next year? My bad. My bad.
The plane and the airport, just because, to that tension. I guess you probably could lump that in with the intro too, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we see the dynamics of this is our first time seeing them together. Knowing the undertone that everybody ain't spoke like that, and then learning that Sasha and Ryan had a fallout and really hadn't spoken, so getting our lay of the land of who and how everybody is and how they work together in the foursome that matters in groups and friendships. So I just like that. And then getting on the plane, because again, Dina being ridiculous. But if you've ever been on a plane primarily full of Black women, going to, I haven't been to Essence Fest. Oh my God. But now in my late 30s, I guess I have to make I guess I have to make my pilgrimage to Essence. But if you've been on
Pilgrimage is fucking wild, man. You funny as hell.
if you've been on a plane full of Black women going anywhere, it is beautiful. Going to sorority conferences and the whole plane is full of members of the organization and they honeydews, it's lit.
Yeah.
Obviously it may not be to the extent of this film, but it's just a beautiful thing and a beautiful experience, just because while exaggerated, Dina's energy is right. Everybody is
Yeah.
geeked to get where we going. We all going to kick it or handle the business. We all know that, but we going to New Orleans of all places. We're going to have a time. So I just like that,
Absolutely.
what it represents,
Absolutely. 100%. So my
Mhm.
next scene is Dina seeing Stewart in that hotel lobby with his aunt. Do you have anything before that you want to talk about?
Yep, that first French Quarter experience with Sasha seeing the pic of Stuart and Simone, just because again, we're learning, much like in the airport, we're learning the inner workings of the circle of the friend group. Despite being in first class, and we know, I was about to call her Regina, we know Ryan Sakino, but we don't realize that she has this type of celebrity power, where people walking up like, oh my God, it's you. And not young women, older women,
Right.
who you would think have, I don't want to say bypassed or surpassed that excitedness about somebody, especially potentially significantly younger than
Well,
and
you know what the highest selling item of all time is, right?
what?
Hope. Hope.
And
Ryan was selling hope. So
for
them
sure,
women, that was her demographic.
for sure,
Absolutely. They
you're
probably
right.
saw her and say, hell yeah, you gave me hope again, you gave me life.
I
It
too
reminds me
think
of that
that
scene. It reminded me of that scene in Harlem when
mm,
Ty was about to shut down the party and whatever, and
mhm.
those that couple came up and said, thanks to your app, like we met and you
Yeah,
gave us hope type shit. It's one of those type of situations. But
fair,
yeah, she's a star.
fair. Yeah, and so we see that. We see the role that Lisa really plays. We learn, even though we knew Dina was wild, we learned that she really is the one that's gonna turn it up. That's a blessing. Waiting on her moment. Some of us have those friends that you cannot tell them shit because they can't hold it until it's time. Like it's an instantaneous ready to turn it up, and clearly that's Dina. So that's
which was funny because with the way she blurted it out, because Ryan had just got finished saying like, I don't know secrets, like I want all the juice, I want all the stories, all that, and she just, hey man, that was God, that was an opening.
That was the end. That's it.
Yeah, and I feel it because she said it like, look, I can't hold this in, and listen. How do you want to get that news, Rachel?
I wanted to be all my niggas, but I don't want to be on the street.
You don't want to be right there on Bourbon Street, like damn, like debilitating.
Wait till we get back to the room, please.
Yeah,
I have a thing about
I gotta talk.
So yeah,
same. I got to think about that, and you got to wait. You can't say nothing until you get to the room because I one of my pet peeves is I need to talk to you.
I hate it. I need to talk to you. Just talk to me. But that and learning of Ryan's celebrity, and it's 2017, 16 while they were filming. We are still very much in the era of smartphones and niggas ear hustling and this and the third. Like, this ain't private enough to tell me that shit, because just like them ladies walked up on us, they could have walked up on you having that conversation or saying that. And now there's an even broader potential for this news to get out,
Nah, that's straight. That's real. So obviously we know Stewart's cheating. So Dina's seeing Stewart in the hotel lobby. Ryan goes to check them in. They go to the carousel bar. Dina can't help herself. And I love the reaction. Once again, you mentioned this earlier, Rachel. I love witnessing how friend groups operate. It's funny because there's been online, fuck, I sound old, on social media right now. They've been talking about leaders of the friend group and all that stuff, just that funny concept. But you really do see what role everybody plays. And Dina's the one that's going to turn it up. She ain't playing. Yeah. She's riding. And as soon as she saw Stewart, Sasha turned around and said, no, let's look at me. Look at me. They knew what time it was, but she still went anyway. She grabbed the bottle, obviously over the top. Yeah. Grabbing the bottle, you breaking it and all that shit. But just that was one of those moments where you realize why everybody loved Tiffany Haddish in this film. The behaviors, the one-liners in this scene was hilarious. You getting old bitches from the resting home now, and it's the seriousness in what she said it. Yeah, like she really thought that she got him. Like, you fucking with Gladys Knight, nigga. Like, that's some shit. If I was in that lobby, I'd have got weak. Like, yo, she wild. And then obviously even being taken away, like your nephew nasty. He a nasty nigga. Your bloodline is nasty. Like, that shit is just funny. Like, you can't make that up. And Stewart is a sucker for letting them get kicked out of the hotel. Like, for big bona fide sucker. Like, that's some. I know on Stewart's end, you could be that person to say, yo, like, she just really broke a bottle and was about to stab this nigga. Like, I get that part of it. But at the same time, good and damn well. First of all, I'm a Hall of Fame candidate, tight end. She's not about to get to me and fuck with me. If I really need to get her up off me, I'm going to get her up off me. Yeah. Don't kick your wife's friend, no matter what the situation is between you and your wife.
And your wife.
On the street. And your wife. That's a bigger sucker part about it, because they talked upstairs. She said some of us got somewhere to go. He could have pulled a Julian and be like, nah, like, you're not going nowhere. You still my wife, you my partner, whatever bullshit he was telling her.
He had to keep that room for Simone to come.
Yeah, I guess you're right, man. Whatever. But anyway, that was my scene.
Yeah. I'm at the first outfit change while they're at the Roach Motel, and Lisa coming out in that Puerto Rican grandma outfit is absolutely insane. Ma'am, I understand that you're solely mothering, but thinking you're about to go to the club at Essence Fest in hot ass New Orleans and all of them clothes is insane. I appreciate Sasha handing her the razor. Like, I already know. And beyond that, the getting her clothes together, it was, we want to see you have fun. Like, bring this bitch back. Bring
Freak
freaking
Nick,
Nick back.
Howard Homecoming.
Howard Homecoming, all of that, because sometimes when your friends are in a place and have been away from fun for so long, like, you got to remind them, like, there's a real person in there other than somebody's mother. Like, you're a whole human, girl. Get back
Yeah.
to it. So I just like that. And again, the hijinks, the nigga fucking homeless man pulling his dick out, like, scary, terrifying, but you
Shit,
know,
wow.
a silly
That shit
ass
wild.
movie. Go ahead.
You ever had that moment where you had to tell? Because I know nobody's ever said it to you, but where you had to tell a homegirl like, "Yeah, nah, that ain't it.
Yes.
That ain't it, man. Go change."
Yes.
Do you need help?
Yes.
Oh man. Nah, dudes do it too though. Are you about to wear that? Oh, okay.
That's what you. Oh, okay.
Save
What else do
some
you
for
have?
save
That's
some for the
my.
rest of us.
What else do you have?
Hey, save some women for the rest of us, bro.
Mm, silly, silly.
What's your next scene? Because mine isn't until the fight in the bar.
Okay, I've got Iyanla getting Sasha together just because
Yeah.
to this day, I love Iyanla. She is so ridiculous and crazy, but I love her.
We're gonna have a middle passage event. What
Are you clear? Clear. I just love that. I go Diddy concert in the French Quarter zip line just because high energy, hijinks, foolishness. This is our first time really seeing the girls have fun and kicking it, and what their relationship when everybody is on good terms and liquored up looks like. So love that. Carla
making
Hall,
memories.
making memories.
That's what's dope about that. Because that's not something they'll forget. Remember that time Lisa pissed on everybody on Bourbon Street?
Right.
Like, it might not be entertaining to me, but if you're part of that friend group that it happened to, absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's why I will say this. I know I mentioned, like, I'm real low key. I like to just chill. I'm similar to you, Rachel. Find the water, you know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. But it is cool to do one or two things out of your realm because there might be a story that comes from it. Exactly. You don't want to be the nigga. You don't want to be the nigga that was in the room taking a nap while some shit was going on.
Exactly. Boo. So, tomato.
Exactly. Yeah. But making memories, that's always dope.
The Carla Hall cooking scene, with the girls and Simone. I'm gonna say bogards her way up, but she makes her presence known. What were you gonna say?
I just the Simone aspect of it is crazy.
Yeah, she's bold. Bitch, how you mad because you fucking my husband? But okay. All of that. Again, we spoke earlier about Regina Hall's comedic timing, and she was giving us Kevin Hart in that we gonna find out today, you know, that whole thing. It was just funny. I appreciate everybody feeding into it. Kate, I'm gonna call her Kate Wash. Liz being completely blindsided, not knowing what the fuck is going on. And Melanie, like, oh, Bethany being completely engaged in it all, you know, thinking that it's a part of the show. Just, I really loved it.
It worked. It worked. And the friends showing up, like, because I'm not about to let you, I know who you are, and you ain't about to do what you think you about to do. Like,
for sure. Nah. For sure. For sure. What about your friends? Will they stand their ground? So now I'm at the party where the girls are high and tripping. Just because ridiculous as hell. And if you partake in the things that people partake in, if you have ever been out and Scotty starts calling, it is a very tricky.
Well, that's probably well. First of all, you fucked up if you ever out in the first place while Scotty's supposed to call while you at the crib. You're not supposed to be out and about, man, because shit like this will happen in real life. Especially if you're not seasoned to that type of behavior. If it's like if you're a first timer, it's gonna be bad.
You would be drinking candle wax.
Yeah, it's gonna end badly, and that's not even hyperbole. That's some real shit. Like that shit ain't nothing to play with.
For sure. So
not nothing to play with.
We get out the party, we go dance it out. We in the club. In the nigga shit.
Yeah. which is my scene.
Let's go.
Obviously, once again, we got to set it off the wigs and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. This happened to me, and shout out to Good.
Shout out to Good.
Shout out to Good, man. This happened to me and Good maybe 3 years ago, 2 years ago, whatever the case is. It was one of those. I told y'all we don't go out like that, but back in our day, we was outside. All right, we was outside, and it was one of those last hurrahs. He hit me up like, "Yo, man, you trying to kick it tonight?" I'm like, "All right, cool." We ended up going somewhere, this little club, and we got there. Mind you, this is when I knew it was over. We get there, and there's security at the door, and the club's empty, and the lights are on. And we look at the clock, and it's like 9:30. And we just looked at each other like, "What the fuck?" Like, cause think about it. When we went out, we was leaving the house at 11.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or so like that. I'm like, we here at 9:30. We trying to get this young ass club, bro. Like, it's time to hang this shit up. But I always think about when they said, look at these old ass bitches in the club. Because if you ever been old in a club, you feel that shit.
For sure.
Especially if you just chilling, like you ain't no dancing out. It might have been different for them because they was obviously tripping for one. And B, they was dancing. Women go out and they kick it. They kick it. Like not too many. I'd imagine so. I don't know what they're doing now, but I don't imagine too many women just sitting there lounging or holding up the wall. Like they actually conversing with their girls. They're having a good time. So that's always funny to me. Like I said, being an old nigga in the club and the dance off. Like reminded me of White Chicks.
Yeah.
And Simone and her crew. First of all, her crew was weak as hell.
Yeah.
And y'all can't dance. Like all this shit whack. Like Fosse Posse out here tearing y'all asses up.
Back in the house.
And then you talk about Simone being bold, as you did in the cooking segment. The fact that you run up and bump Dina, like you won't smoke. You don't want smoke. Like stop that. What are you doing? And obviously we see Lisa was really the one that would set it off.
Period.
Came outside, my shit wore off. What's up? Because sometimes you, which I 100% get. Like I've said this before. One of my favorite quotes is from Matt Barnes. Violence is never the answer, but sometimes it is.
Yeah.
Like, and you've done two. Now you like, I already know you having an affair with my husband. If I'm Ryan, but now you showing up to places on purpose. Now you trying to volunteer in our segment being funny. Like, that's the only way to kind of regulate that action. Like, you need your ass whooped. And that's what it came down to. Like I said, violence is not the answer, kids, but when you're disrespected, act accordingly.
Period. It's what she deserved. And an ass whooping she got.
An ass whooping she got.
That was mine. And then I fast forward a bit to the fight scene after Simone's picks leak. Do you have anything before that?
No, that's actually my next scene as well. So go ahead.
Okay. So also shout out to we haven't shouted him out. Really? Shout out to Julian. Lorenz Tate.
Yeah.
He's bodying this and just the way that he shows up. He's everywhere.
Yeah, let me just say this real quick. One, now this is something I can appreciate. I'm at the age now where I've been removed from college for quite some time.
Yeah.
And it is cool. It's something about being the homie, like seeing your girls from college, not like your old slides and nothing like that, but like the homies. Oh, I ain't seen you in a minute. Like, how you been? Because that's how you show up. It's almost like it flashes you back in time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look out for them the same way I would look out for them back then. You could obviously tell that he had changed by their commentary.
Yeah.
I think one of them said, "Oh, you got muscles now." I think Dina said, "Oh, you look good now." Whatever the case. So he's not like he was the same version of himself.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing and the most real nigga thing ever, we was on Stewart's ass. But there's no way if I ran into Rachel somewhere and like, "Oh, Rachel, let me take you and the girls home or whatever," and Rachel or take you to the hotel, and Rachel pulls up to that motel, hell nah. Hell nah.
I'm not going.
I know you wouldn't go there anyway, but just hell nah. That's one of those things like wouldn't happen to me. Like I would be in Baton Rouge
for sure
before I stay in that. Like I would make the commute.
Yeah,
and we're not doing this.
Yeah,
but that's some real shit. And there's not too people will say it, but there's not too many people that really will be that selfless. Like, nah, man, I can make accommodations for myself a lot easier than it is to make for 4 women. Like take my room and I'll make it shake.
Exactly.
Like, that's some real shit. That's some real shit, man. So shout out to him for that. But as you were saying,
shout out to all the real niggas out there.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your service. I've got the fight after Simone leaked her pictures because you said it earlier. Shit gets brushed under the rug. It's gonna bubble up at some point. And so here we are, Sasha, who's a blogger, essentially, the girls, well, not even really the girls. And this is kind of a thing that bothered me too. I understand why Ryan felt like Sasha leaked the shit. And she said why she thought she did. But bitch, you really think I would do that to you?
So here's real quick, just to
Uh-huh.
insert. That is the thing that bothers me. That's the one thing that this film, if I really wanted to hammer down a point on something,
Yeah.
you didn't give us any characteristics about Sasha to make us think that she would do some shit like that.
Right. Other than we did see her look at it, a pondering of it. And she said, I did think about it, but on some intrinsic nature shit, I would never play you like that.
Yeah, I never believed as a viewer that
That
Sasha
she
would do her
was
girl
going
like that.
to. Yeah, exactly.
Especially because they even set it up earlier in the movie when she said she was going to Essence Fest with Ryan's gonna be there. Oh, any dirt on her? Like, absolutely not.
Absolutely
Like,
not.
so I just didn't believe it.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's that. And again, we talked earlier about the relationship dynamics between them. And Sasha said it like, it's y'all do whatever she say. Somebody is a leader in the friend group. There is always going to be somebody who's a little bit on the outside or who is their own stronger personality or is more resolved within themselves. And it gets tricky when navigating the foursome. And as much as niggas say they don't take sides, niggas take sides. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I say it all the time. There's always another text thread.
Always another group chat. Niggas definitely got favorites.
100%.
And it just is what it is. Great fight scene again. Dina, she had some amazing, ridiculous lines. And that's really it. I mean, I got the final keynote, the resolution. That's it for me.
Yes. So we'll talk about the keynote, but this fight scene,
yeah,
it's interesting for me because I look at it from a couple of different angles.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, real friendships, that's how it works, right? Unfortunately, a lot of us we don't get to a point where we have these talks prior.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a conversation that you have when, cooler heads prevail.
Yeah.
You in a good space. Hey, this is something that happened. We never discussed it. I want to have a conversation about it. That's how you should do it. 9 times out of 10, it doesn't happen like that. It happens when I already got a lot of shit going on in my life. I feel attacked right now. You coming at me crazy. All right, let me tell you about yourself real quick. Let me tell you about your bullshit job, your celebrity gossip. You should use your journalism degree, all that. And really what we haven't talked about is how real of a friend Sasha is, because Sasha's the one that really gave it all up.
For sure.
But Ryan started getting things off her chest, and she accused her of selling it up. I knew she was mad when she started saying, "Did you sell them to someone else to cover your tracks?" Because not only do you think I'm foul enough to do this, you think I'm diabolical enough to do it and hide it from you. Like, I'm really that down out. Like, and I would really be hurt if I was Sasha.
For sure.
That's what you think about me. Like, that's what you think about me. When you the one that bounced on our idea, I quit the job at the time.
That part.
You feel me? I had my work on the cover. The time. Like, I quit my job. I hired a designer for our website. You bounced because you thought you was going to be more successful with your dude, which is cool.
Yeah.
Like, that happens. But that's why business and friendship can be a tricky little thing.
For
has to be 100% crystal clear communication. You have to go into it. I was just telling I was talking about it on Another Week in the Books when I interviewed Spike and Animal Brown, excuse me. Shout out to Another Week in the Books. The one thing I've always said about podcasts, and especially being with two people that I love dearly, as far as School and Rachel, I've always said I'm leaving with what I came with.
Yeah.
At the very least. Like, there's nothing that can happen with them. I'm like, oh, fuck them. Like, never. Like, nah. And their whole, that's a lot to come back from. Like, I gave up my life and you bounced on me. and we never talked about it. You never even said
But
sorry.
even without a conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, like I wonder how that went. I wonder if it was on some middle of the night, leave a voicemail, this is what's going on type shit. I wonder what actually happened. How did that decision come? Because that would be the time you think that conversation would take place. So there had to be something to where it wasn't whatever. And Sasha said the right thing. Like, you know, Ryan mentioned, well, why didn't you say something? Why didn't you tell me? Oh, that's what happened actually, excuse me.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say something at that time? Sasha probably did it because, as she said appropriately in this film, how the fuck I'm gonna compete with Pillow Talk?
Period.
Which is a bar. Because you can't. And she knew that. And Sasha has great. Yeah. Niggas be pillow talking, man. Sasha has niggas be pillow talking with people they don't even know.
Yep.
Sasha has great awareness in the same way she read Lisa and Dina. Like, I know how this goes. I know how this is set up. I'm never gonna win with y'all. That's the queen bee and y'all the worker bees.
Yeah.
And here I am out to dry. Like, y'all, the fact that y'all never had to sit down with her and say, yo, what you did to Sasha was fucked up. Yo.
Was fucked up. And I think we see that. And it was relevant in this fight because why y'all taking her side? Right. And even though Lisa, after the fact, said we weren't taking her side, bitch, yes, y'all are. Because all the commentary is directed towards me and nothing for her. That's crazy as hell. That's side taking.
Yeah. That's real, man, and it happens often. I'm sure that's Dina. That's years and years and years of Sasha feeling like that. Like every single time y'all take her side.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the one-liners from Dina, and even though let's go back, I appreciate honesty.
Yeah.
The fact that as soon as Sasha said, like, I thought about that shit. Don't get it twisted. But I'd never do you like that. I'd never play you like that. You know, so. I'm not gonna tell on me to tell on somebody else. Like, this is what it is. Right. And like I said, Dina's one-liners. You know, here, take your driver's license so you can get on the plane with your nasty ass, dirty ass, nasty ass husband that fuck Instagram bitches.
Silly.
Yeah, Dina's funny as hell. And then lastly, the keynote speech. Just because resolution. I talked about how movies. I like when you can get in and get out. This is similar to last week's film, A Low Down Dirty Shame. You're not going to sit here and expect for it to be X, Y, and Z. Like, there's not this big reveal or this big aha moment at the end of it. This is a movie where you want to see the people that you've been rooting for get everything that they deserve.
Right.
And that's what you get. You get that at the end of it, and you get the real meaning and the true meaning, not only of friendship, but self-worth.
Yeah.
I think that's what stood out the most to me about it. I think that Ryan had a moment in her speech where she said, there are some people, when you see them, you just can't pretend anymore because they know you, the real you, and maybe that's why you avoided seeing them for so long.
Yeah.
There ain't nothing like people that actually know you and you can't bullshit. Because there's nowhere to run, there's nowhere to hide. The only thing you can do is avoid them.
For sure.
And people, as we know, they will run, they will avoid conflict or confrontation. You know, I'll go without speaking to this person versus having a 15-minute talk or 30-minute talk or hour talk, whatever the case is. But living, I know it sounds cliche, but just Ryan finally living her truth.
Yeah.
Authenticity is what it's all about. You know, I said that till I'm blue in the face. Like, but you can't.
Carolina.
Honest man. Carolina blue, man. March Madness. You feel me? The day this episode releases, Carolina will be playing their first tournament game. You know, so shout out to everybody rooting for them. I appreciate y'all in advance because we're gonna get this championship. But an honest man tells on himself, like, you can never use my truth against me because I'm gonna tell the world before anybody else tells it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what Sasha was trying to, like I said, Sasha was a good ass friend. Sasha was trying to tell you, get in front of this shit because you don't want anybody spinning this narrative. And that's another thing we didn't talk about, but I'll mention it briefly. I couldn't imagine what it's like to be a public figure. Or being someone famous, because you think about the cool shit they did do, the VIP access. But when something goes south in your life and you got strangers reporting on your life like they know you, that would piss me off.
Real bad.
Especially when you find out on some shit like that. I'm already in the middle of it and I'm getting a phone call. I have no control over this shit. Hit the internet and now everybody knows.
For me,
I would go crazy.
And I hate people in my business anyway. So
Facts.
to this level, oh my God, I couldn't take it. I could not take it.
I keep an NDA on me.
For
I don't
sure.
even want to. I don't even
For
want you telling
sure.
nobody you said hello to me.
Hello, okay. We know each other from where? Elementary school. I
Yeah.
don't know you, man. Uh
I don't know you, man.
so yeah, we end with Bethany still wanting to partner with Ryan and Ryan saying, Sasha, I'll only do it with you. So yes, bitch, make it right. You owe me. Actually, give me this whole bonus. This whole sign-on bonus. You owe me that. I'm about to get evicted, bitch.
Straight up. And that's how it should be.
And that's how it should be. So
especially after this nigga Stewart looked at Ryan and said, you know, without me, you can't have it all. Get the fuck out of here.
Crazy. But that's how niggas think.
Yeah, I can't remember what I was about to say. But either way. Yeah. Here, we're gonna take that in right now.
We've said quite a bit of them. So I'll just run through mine real quick. I don't coochie pop no more because that is hilarious to me as somebody who really don't.
Used to be a rump shaker.
All this NBA dick and she fucking a baseball player, you know, that kind of bitch. Although baseball is where the real money is. So
the bread.
Understand that.
Nah, that's real.
You already said getting old bitches from the resting home. You fucking Gladys Knight, nigga. When you didn't say you got knee pads under them slacks, Slurpee. Stupid. Men will fuck almost anything, but not you in that outfit. Try me again, and I promise you, we will have a middle passage experience, a fight for survival, and you're gonna be a mental health patient with a fat ass. Shout out to Mike Epps for that random one-liner.
Shout out to Mike Epps. He's good for a one-liner.
He is.
He's good for a one-liner. You ran through most of them. The only ones that I have, pretty much just Dog and Stewart. She said you need to tell her. Ryan said you need to tell her to go home, babe. How am I supposed to do that? The same way you tell her to come get some dick.
Here, Instagram.
Hey, women will put you in a blender. Women will put you in a blender, and you'll be sitting there looking dumb, not knowing what to say. Because what do you say to that?
Nothing.
If your girl say that to you, you just got to sit there and take it. You can't say shit. And then the other part in that scene, like, I'm sorry. You always sorry. I ain't gonna do it again. You always ain't gonna do it again. Just because you could tell Regina Hall just played that scene so well because you could tell she's heard that shit over and over.
For sure.
Like, bruh, chill. Like, you always say that shit. Like, especially once again, we public figures. Like you really playing because the one thing anybody, I'm not even gonna I'm not even gonna relegate this to women. To anybody, man, woman, a lot of people will put up with some shit.
Yeah.
The quiet is kept.
As long as I keep it to myself.
Quiet is kept. A lot of people will put us with some shit. As soon as you start embarrassing me, now my shit out here in public.
Yep.
Now it's a problem.
Now it's a problem.
And once again, like I said, that's with our regular friend group. Right. Let alone we celebrities. Don't play with me like this.
Please.
Like, do not play in my face like this.
Please.
You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to the quotes, man. A lot of good one-liners. Scene Stiller. Who you got, Ray P?
So, it's an ensemble cast. So I'm not giving it to none of them, despite Tiffany being the breakout star.
Yep.
I have Lorenz Tate. That's too easy because I love Lorenz, and that's fucking Lorenz. Is it Kate Walsh?
So can I tell you? And for some reason, it felt weird to give it to Kate Walsh. That's the answer, but I came up with another answer.
Okay, it might be who I'm also thinking of, and it's not Simone.
No, it's not. Yours isn't gonna be my answer. Mine is kind of cheating in a bit.
Who?
My Scene Stiller, Essence Fest in New Orleans. I really believe that the Essence Festival the Essence Festival and the city of New Orleans was such
Mhm.
a character in this film.
Yeah.
I'll go as far to say I don't even think it's the same film if it's filmed in Miami, New
Mhm.
York.
Yeah.
Something about New Orleans and the Essence Festival brought this together. The
Okay.
idea of girls trip, the idea of black women.
Mhm.
For some reason, that's one of the highlights of this film. Every time I watch it, just I feel like I'm there, and it might be because I've never been to New Orleans. You know what I mean? I
I'm
know,
sorry.
right? Yeah,
What?
I know. A place that was made for a nigga like me. I've never been to. I've already got my first trip planned. Like I all I want to do is go down there and eat. I don't want to do nothing else but eat.
Okay. We have to work on this. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Please do. I know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disappoint you this evening, but
I'm
um,
flabbergasted. Okay, you
that's the
have
number
a
one city in the United States of America that I want to visit is New Orleans that I haven't been.
oh my God.
I've been everywhere else I wanted to go except for Seattle.
Okay. Okay.
No, like when I get on the plane again, if it's not work related, it's gonna be to New Orleans.
Okay. Yes. I'm
But
actively trying to plan a trip to New Orleans this summer. But okay.
and I'm going to the Baxter Hotel.
Shout out
Shout
to
out
you.
to Your Honor. Shout out to We Got Y'all. Shout out to We Got Y'all, man. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just really it's really Kate Walsh. Don't get me wrong. If we're picking an actor that
Yeah.
she does it. It feels weird to say her, but she's really hilarious in this film.
Yeah.
But like I said, something about it, it wasn't just a regular New Orleans movie. It's not like Deja Vu. Like Deja Vu isn't, yes, it's a character, but not the same way that
Yeah.
it is in Girls Trip. So that's gonna be
For
my
sure.
answer.
I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna steal that too. New Orleans.
Okay. Things that bother you?
We already talked about it with actually believing that Sasha will play Lisa like that. That's it. And just Simone being extra, like, bitch, move.
Way too extra.
Way too
If
extra.
you really want the bread, you ain't going about it the right way. But
That part.
those influencers, like part of their business and part of their brand, I'm sure part of their money making is their name being in the news and drama.
Mm-hmm.
So all news is good news. Were there any come see about me moments?
No.
Nah.
Despite Stuart getting on that elevator to smooth things over, that was not a real come see about me.
Nah, you can't mess up that many times and still see about somebody. That's fixing your mistakes.
Ain't no come see about me.
Yeah, you coming to fix your mistakes and apologize. Any actors from The Wire? No. Soundtrack to the film. We heard it throughout. Nothing to write home about. Wouldn't let that happen to me. I've already said one. I'm driving to Baton Rouge. I'm driving somewhere before I even think about staying at that Roach Motel. The second thing is, I don't care how famous of the person is that I'm friends with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who they are. Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Michael Jackson. Shout out to Mike. I'm trying to think of a famous ass person. R.I.P. Mike. My whole point is, you're not about to come up and push me out the way to talk to whoever that person is next to me. That woman came up and shoved Sasha out the way mid conversation.
Listen,
not going down like that.
She probably was drunk. She gave her
and
a
I get it.
Offer.
And I'm not even saying there has to be a physical altercation off that. Because famous people go crazy over famous people. I get it. I'm not the nigga that you about to be bumping and pushing out the way, bro. Nah, hell nah, bro. Calm the fuck down. Like, we gonna do this over. But yeah, I'm not letting that happen to me. Or at least I'm not letting it go undiscussed. I can't help the bump, but you're gonna hear about the bump. Like, you're not gonna bump me again.
For sure.
Trivia. Whole bunch of 6 degrees of separation. Look through our filmography of what we've done so far. You probably find a lot of the movies that they cross-reference in.
Yeah.
Inkwell, you got Jada and Lorenz, all types of stuff. We talked about to set it off. Homage. Let's set it off in here. The wigs, all of that. And then Paul Thomas Anderson. 11-time nominated. Did I say that right? 11-time nominated? Yeah, 11-time nominated director. Oscar director, should I say? He wrote, after seeing this movie, he wrote Tiffany Haddish and said how much he loved the film and loved her and wanted to collaborate with her off of this film. Like, he's directed Boogie Nights, Magnolia, There Will Be Blood with Daniel Day-Lewis, those type of movies. So he's, like I said.
Have they collaborated?
I probably not. Probably not. But I thought that was interesting because that's a very odd couple type of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully they do. If they haven't already, maybe I need to double check that. Maybe they have. But all right, Rachel, we get to the end of this trip where we rate the episode. The average viewer rates Girls Trip 6.2 out of 10.
Oh,
too high, too low, just right.
That's too low. And I'm not, even for nostalgia purposes, I'm going to give Girls Trip a flat 7.0. Although I love this movie and it holds up, I'm going to give it a 7.
Yeah. So this is a weird one where I really enjoy the movie.
Mm-hmm.
My rating's not going to reflect how much I enjoy it, but I do think it's properly right. Nah, it's a 6.8.
I would say, what you want to give it a 6.5? Okay.
Nah, 6.8. It's a 6.8. It feels like it should, like, when I sit down and watch it, I feel like I enjoy it more than a 6.8.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some parts that are just not for me.
Yeah.
And that I can just kind of go without. You know, there's some montages and some things that just, all right, cool, I get it. You know, it's all good. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and I just thought about it. We didn't really delve too much into it. We talked about Julian showing up as the homie, but shout out to him showing up as a little bit more than that. Also, him and Ryan hugged up in the end, and the tension was building. So shout out to him being a gentleman and honoring her being married. But once he knew that shit was over, he was on it.
Nah, that's real. Straight up.
And, niggas waiting in the wings.
Just that, right, man. It's always the one they told you not to worry about.
Ah, shit.
It's always the one.
Not always.
Don't worry. Hey, don't worry about me. With that being said, man, we appreciate y'all. Please remember, now is the time the episode's ending, to like, rate, subscribe, share it to a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend, all that good stuff. Please check out our Linktree in our episode description. We got y'all television podcast, Ray P's joint, School's Guilty Pleasures, which runs on the Culture Garden feed. He releases on Fridays. I'm not sure if the episode he's recording is releasing this Friday or next Friday, but please check that out. He recently did Save the Last Dance, which is
live your dreams.
Silly ass episode, man. Shout out to Mia. She was a guest on that. And also did a top 10 Oscar list. So there's a lot of stuff coming. A lot of stuff has already been done. We appreciate all of y'all. We'll be back next week for another film. Hopefully schedules permitting, all three of us. But, you know, we'll see, man. You never know. You want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. So, with that being said, I'm saying, posse, man. Ray P, damn sure appreciate you.
I love you.
I love you too, man. I appreciate you. Rest of y'all, we love you. Y'all be cool. Y'all be cool.
Peace out. Take care. Be well.
Great day to be a Tar Heel. Let's go Heels. Let's get this chip. Peace.
Bye.